Buddha Lian Sheng to transmit the precious Buddha Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao-Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zheng-Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. Homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and all the assembly of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Simu Tanzhen Katso, all the Dharma teachers, Dharma educators, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. And our VIPs today are the Taipei rep to Sweden and Norway, that's Ambassador Dongzhou Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy, PR Director of the Taiwan Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang, So today we perform the group practice of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Oh, I haven't said my greetings yet. Good evening, everyone. Today we had the group practice of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. And of course we can say that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is as compassionate as the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, because the vow that he made was that until hell is empty, he vowed never to become a Buddha. He vowed to become a Buddha until the hell is empty, only when hell is empty. This kind of vow is quite rare. He vowed to become the Buddha only after hell is empty. However, think about it. Can hell be empty? It's a very mysterious or mystical question. It's quite improbable for the hell to be empty. However, in the subtle and marvelous realm, like the 6 rebirth realms, we do say that rebirth and nirvana are are one. That's the highest realm. So rebirth and nirvana are about the same. And in the highest realm, there is such a thing that the Buddha and Mara are one and they are equal. That rebirth and nirvana are also one. And it's quite difficult to explain it. Why is that a nirvana and rebirth are one? Someone asked Grandmaster, do hells exist? Let's not talk about the existence of hell. Even in this human realm, there is the hungry ghost realm. Like in the past, during famine, in this human world, there are many people died of hunger during famine. So the realm of dying of hunger is considered to be the hungry ghost realm. We often say that don't think that hells are only in the netherworld. Hells exist in the human realm too. Don't think that opening your skulls only exists in the netherworld. It exists in the human world. Like in the big hospitals, at the operating rooms, people are being amputated. Isn't that hell? That's the amputated hell. So when a human being died and the soul is there, and they were being ridden over by a car, and this also exists in the human realm, not just in the netherworld, like amputations. Even in the advanced medical field, there is no changing of your heads, but we already transplanting organs, hearts, livers. Those already exist. Those already exist in hospitals. So the operating rooms in the hospitals are like in the hells. Or hells of changing tongues, because you tell too big lies or too many of them. You have told lies that you have even forgotten about it, or then you go to hell. Then they would pull your tongue out, then your tongue becomes as big as the earth. Then there are lots of oxen plowing on your tongue. So that's the hell where tongues are being plowed. You know, there are a lot of nerves on the tongues. and you plow on top of your tongue. Just imagine. Does it exist in the human world? Yes. I have seen people who came for consultation, and I asked them, and he asked me, what's my problem? So I told him, on your tongue. And then he stick it out for me to see. And there are blood marks on the tongue, like ditches, and the blood would flow from them. So that exists even in human world. So don't talk about hells in the nether world. Hells exists in the human world too. Like the pandemic now is the same as in hells. This is the common karma of human beings. And when this happens, it's really horrendous. So we often say in the netherworld there's a bridge, Naihe bridge. Then underneath the bridge there are many spirits drowning, that only the heads there, and then the water would drown them, and you cannot breathe. The feeling of not able to breathe. So this coronavirus epidemics would let you not able to breathe, unable to breathe. Just like when you're drowning. And when you try to breathe and you cannot. Just like being drowned. And they died like that. So isn't that like those spirits in the hell under the Naihe bridge? So hells do exist. And because they do exist in the human realm. And like the animal realm, you can see them. Dogs, cats, sheep, cows, pigs, chicken, ducks, geese. They all belong in the animal realm, and you can see them, right? How come you can say that the animal realm doesn't exist? And the hungry goose realm too, during the famine. Those who died from hunger. And hells, realms of hells also exist, and you can see them in the hospitals. However, by having the true enlightenment realization at the highest realm, we regard them as non-existent, that nirvana and rebirth are one and the same. And the point is this. So Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's compassion is like this. He came to the Saha world as a tulku. And what is tulku? Tulku is a Rinpoche. It's a reincarnated living Buddha that after finishing a life, immediately reincarnated again because they have the affinity with the Buddha and they would encounter and be recognized as tulkus. There was the first tulku in Indonesia who was Fermi's brother-in-law. We call him Tulku Rinpoche, but in Chinese sounded like taking off his pants. Actually, Tulku is the same as a reincarnated Rinpoche. Sometimes we say it as Rinpoche. Or the transliteration in Chinese, Rinpoche. Rinpoche sounds like Rinpo chicken. No, actually it's Rinpoche. In the past, sometimes it was translated as Rinpoche. Actually, that's the same as Rinpoche. And Tulku. Or like in Tibet, in the Nyingmapa, there was also Ujin Tukur Rinpoche. And in Mongolia, it was called the Hutukatu. And in Chinese, we transliterated it into Hulihutu, which means like muddle-headed. So they are just the titles or the names of the Rinpoches. But the Rinpoches are also compassionate, just like Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. They are always in the human realm. They are always reincarnated, life after life, as Rinpoche in the human world. And in the highest realm, we regard the Saha world as illusory. And the rebirth or reincarnation is also an illusory realm. All the 6 rebirth realms are all illusory. And you truly enter into the realm of the illusory and compassionately deliver the sentient beings so that they have attainments. So that's the spirit of the living Buddhas, which is the same spirit as Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Always reincarnated it one after another. Always been reincarnated. The same with our Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. That he's always in the netherworld, delivering sentient beings, transforming sentient beings. He's not just the king or the savior of the 6 rebirth realms, not just in hells, but in all 6 rebirth realms. That's why we refer to the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas of the 6 rebirth realms. We are truly admirable of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's spirit and also the spirit of the Rinpoches, that they always come or to be reincarnated in the Saha world, life after life. Let's continue to talk about Lamdre. Tonight we have to change the clock, right? We have to move it forward 1 hour, which means you would lose 1 hour. You would lose 1 hour sleep. The whole world, everybody else is so smart. Nobody has this daylight saving time or whatever. Like for China, we just have one time wherever you go. It's not like saying what time in Nanjing and what time in Beijing and what time in Heilongjiang or Harbin, another time. No, they're all on the same time, right? Only America. So dumb. So, what time in Seattle, a different time in New York. So you have a jet lag, you have time discrepancy. And Taiwan used to copy America and have daylight saving times and stuff. Now, not anymore. So you always have to turn all your clocks at home if you have 10 clocks. And some of them are high on the wall. And you have to climb on ladders, especially for the elderlies. Would that be okay to climb? Why are we still changing back and forth? Sometimes it's moving forward, sometimes moving backward, and like. So what time? It's always time changing. So what happened to the 1 hour? Jesus. I'm not talking about American people, okay? So we are all American citizens. So it's just talking about ourselves. Because you're American citizens, so you're Americans. And Canada too is so dumb. So the stupid one follows the stupid one. So like in China, you have the same time wherever you fly. So like there's jet lag within America, 3 hours. You fly to New York, or from New York you fly to Seattle, you would have jet lag. If we forget to turn the clock and continue to sleep, don't think that you have gained something. Actually, it's all the same. So now the nature and appearance of the shadow. So the shadow of Samaya. So because you have violated the Samaya vow, that becomes your hindrance. The shadows of ghosts and Mara. So what is encountering negative energy? That's when the ghost is standing right in front of you and you don't know. So you walk into the ghost's body. So you're colliding with the ghost. So that's called 冲煞 in Chinese. So it's like encountering negative energy. Or you're sitting here and a ghost is floating and entering through your body, and you become like the ghost becomes like a parasite in your body, like a host to the body. So you encounter the affinity to receive the troubles made by the ghost. So the ghost is creating troubles inside your body. This do exist. So many people colliding with ghosts, or like we're being pushed when you're laying in bed, you're pushed down, not able to move, or you have dreams of ghosts. Many people have these experiences. And there's some that were so bad that they had to be hospitalized at the psychiatric ward. That's why we shouldn't go to the ghost temples or the temples or the altars of the ghost witch, because inside them they are all ghosts. I still remember the name of the 5 ghost leaders. Then their names are so she worshipped these 5 great ghosts, and she claimed that they are the protectors, but they were ghosts from human beings. And everybody coming out from her places were mentally disturbed. So that become their hindrances. They have become hosts to the ghost. So even after I tapped on them, they left, but they came back. So many of them suffered the same thing after visiting their places. Many of them, some of them died, some of them are in the psychiatric wards. Do you know Wang Huan? So became hospitalized after leaving the ghost witch. And the one who died from committing suicide, Qi Guang, also after visiting her place and coming back, she became a host to the ghost, and the ghost told her to kill herself. That's how it was. I just mentioned 2 of many of them. Some of them became muddle-headed or mentally disturbed for a while, and then some came back tonight. I saw Thomas. He came, right? You also went to the ghost witch, right? And then you were disturbed coming back, and now you feel much better, right? Yes. He also suffered from the disturbances, and sometimes the ghosts really disturb people very much. He became very irritable and became violent, and he's still very young. He was a PhD, and now you're much better, right? You're being protected by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Many, many cases. You didn't know how his past life was. He's very smart. The youngest PhD at the UW, and he taught at the UW. But after visiting the Ghost Witch and coming back, he totally changed. Now he recovered to become well again. So that's the shadow of Ghost and Mara, and the shadows of evil friends. So evil friends, so of course you shouldn't have bad or evil friends. In Chinese, it's very simple, right? We say you would become black if you're close to the ink, and you become red when you're close to the cinnabar. Like if you're close to the Dharma brothers and sisters. But if you're together with the one who has breached the precepts, then you can be affected by it. Simple concept. The shadow of food and drink. What is that? So the hindrance is created by your diet. Is there a hindrance to the food and drink? Of course. We have to eat clean food. If you eat contaminated food, then you would have diarrhea. Then how can you meditate? Then you have to go to the toilet every 5 minutes. Of course, your meditation will be affected. So if you eat a foul food, that's no good. So of the 5 precepts, there is the precept of not getting intoxicated by drinking alcohol, not to kill, not to steal, not to adulterate, not to lie, and not to drink alcohol. It's one of the precepts. But if you drink and not getting drunk, then you don't breach the precept. But if you get drunk, then you breach the precept. So you have to be able to control yourself. You cannot drink sake. You know what sake is? Japanese rice wine. Or brandy, whiskey, liquors make you drunk easily. Recently, Grandmaster drank a little bit of wine to kill the germs. What kind of germs? The virus that's going around. If I feel some itch in the throat, I would drink a little bit. Like the wine that you offered to Grandmaster. So 58 proof, or 58% alcohol. Bone tonifying wine. More than half alcohol. I just drank a small cup of it, a very small cup. But never getting drunk. So I took it as medicine to tonify the body and to kill the germs. But please don't copy it, okay? You can't do it as I do. Because if you get drunk, then you'll be dead. That's the story. But all my life, I have been drunk 3 times. Simu knew this. The first time, I was at the disciples' house at the Taichung County. What was it called? The Ministry for Religion? The Civic Bureau. At the chief there, both of us at the disciples' house. A line of glasses this big, and then we played. So like a game, we played a game, like whoever that lost then drank the glass of wine. And he started sitting, and then he toppled to under the table. I was still sitting there, but we really drank quite a lot. And then I stood up and went to the toilet. I held the alcohol in my throat, and when I went to the toilet, and I spit them out, I spit it out. That was the first time I was drunk. And the second time by drinking beer. And we were playing like the hand or finger guessing game. There were 2 people playing the game, and I told them, whoever lost, I would drink. I was so dumb. I was so stupid. So I sat next to them, and then they played the game. I kept drinking and drinking, and finally I lost. And then I forgot the last time. Do you remember? That was the first one. I was really drunk then. But after I vomited at home, then I became awake. Oh, there was one time in the military at the Survey Engineering College. At night, everybody is asleep, and by myself, I climb over the fence, the wall, and went outside and drank some sorghum wine. And the Taiwanese sorghum liquor, you can lit it up, just like a candle. By myself, I drank quite a few, and then I toppled and climbed the wall back and slept at my own room. And that whole night I felt a terrible headache. And the next morning I stood in the team, and everybody could smell the alcohol. Wow. Who was drinking? So that was one time. I couldn't sleep all night after taking the sorghum liquor. Perhaps it was a fake one. All my life I was drunk these 3 times. And afterwards I controlled myself. Always I control myself. So the shadow of food and drink. So food that's violating the vows, crime, and with revenge and contaminated. Like if people put poison inside your drink, or poisons or spells, and then the shadow of place. Like if you live in a haunted house, then that's the shadow of place and location. And the 6th, how do you pronounce this? The first one is corpse, right? The dark. So, like when you touch corpses, dead bodies, and you are contaminated by it. So that's what it means here. So when you touch someone who just died, or touch some corpses, and Grandmaster does touch corpses because I help people checking the feng shui. So I do touch corpses, and then when I do the guidance of the spirits, I also touch dying dead people. It's okay for Grandmaster, but not for you, because their negative energy will affect you. Some corpses have their mouth open. They look like this. And the qi coming out is really filthy and foul. And I have to close their mouth, to close their eyes, because some of them have their eyes open, some of them had their eyes opened. So I had to close their eyes. And I use the guiding of the spirits during the Bardo state. I have to recite the mantra, open the gate to heavens, close the door to the earth, and to the human and to the ghost realm. And you have to chant the mantra. And you have to help the corpses to open the apex so that their soul can leave the body from the apex, and then use the guidance to guide them to a better realm, to the heavenly realms, or to the Pure Land, the western realm of utmost bliss. And third is discerning the size of the shadows. What time is it now? Huh? What time? 10? No, it's not changed yet. It's not changed yet. So it's 10:40 now.
A wife asked her husband,
When we were dating, your eyes were glazing and we have chemistry, and now you don't even look at me anymore. And the husband replied, oh, I'm conserving my electricity. And the wife said, but when you see a hot, spicy girls, then your eyes are still lit up. Oh, that's like warning lights to warn them that I have a wife, please don't get too close. So that's making excuses. So what kind of shadow would that be? It's not here. So what we say is anytime your heart is affected or your mind flutters, then that's not allowed. The joke. In Italy, there was 224 confirmed, of course more than that. And they sign, please don't go everywhere. We don't have the mountain of the fire god and mountain god. There's no, there's all this Chinese feng shui that if you're being affected, then you would be pushed toward up the mountain. Hells are like that. The symptoms, the phenomena is similar. Some things happening in the human worlds are similar to hells. This is also related to the epidemic. The North Korea, how do they do their quarantine? A said, yin and yang, and how about the cure? Yeah, this is play of words of Chinese. That they're being shot, the first person that got infected in North Korea. This is also about the epidemic. Is this funny? A asked Ying, oh, I heard that you're mixed blood. So, what are you? Yeah, this is also play of word of Chinese. Yeah.
或是你妈妈是日本人吗？小英回答都不是。阿龙问：为何会是中日混血？小英回答：我爸爸是中立人，我妈妈家住在日月潭，所以我是中日混血。其实我们人啊，不一定一般人来讲。
Actually, for typical human beings, We are a mix of good and bad.
有时候啊，你会发慈悲心，
Sometimes you would have compassionate heart and being kind, and sometimes you would have some bad thoughts. So therefore, we are also a mixed blood of good and bad. Before you're completely purified through your spiritual cultivation, you're all mixed blood of good and bad. When you have been completely purified, then you have reached the realm of the sky, or to go to the higher realm of the heavenly realm, or to become a bodhisattva or Buddha. Those are completely pure, that you have been completely lucid and have meditative stability. But before that, we are all mix of good and bad. There is no such things as complete evil or complete goodness. This is talking about Hui Jin. When are you leaving? Monday night. Oh, it's coming up, so let's talk about you today. You're like this. When you see the number on your weight, then you would say you want to lose weight. And when you're wearing your Lama outfit, you also say you want to lose weight. When you see someone with good figure, you also say you want to lose weight. When you see your reflection in the mirror, you also say you want to lose weight. And when you encounter people that you like, you also say you want to lose weight. But when you see food, then you say, heck with losing weight. In Taiwan, you followed Grandmaster accepting dinner offerings. You always say you want to lose weight. You would order just a bowl of something that's special for you, like a diet food, right? Anyway, whenever you get there, you would order your own diet food. However, you also eat other people's food. So, how can you lose weight? If next time you haven't lost weight and you're still this fat, then forget it. So that's also the shadow of diet. Inside the elevator, all of a sudden I wanted to fart. But nowadays everybody is wearing masks, so they shouldn't be able to smell it. So I secretly let it out. However, I forgot that it also makes sound.
所以我们饮食之瘾也是一样，吃东西。
So the shadow of diet is the same.
那些
Don't
不
eat
消化的，因为不消化它就
the indigestible food
容易
because
这样子。
it would easily create
所以我
that
们要吃
problem.
比较有消化的
We
能
should
够
eat
消
more
化的
digestible food.
其实是很重要的。
That's important.
有一件事情我就觉得很奇怪，
I found something
我
strange.
以前跟女朋友约会的时候，
When I was dating my girlfriends before,
绝对都不会放屁。
I never ever farted.
但是只要跟女朋友啊 say 好拜拜，
But after I said goodbye to the girlfriends, after a few
这是什么
steps,
道理呢？
immediately.
这要问你们。
So what happened here? I'm asking you, Oh Mani Benny Home.